Hello, math humans. We're going to do G2 today. We're going to be solving quadratic equations graphically. So our objectives are that we're going to solve quadratics graphically using our grapher. Remember that you must sketch and label the graph since that's going to be your work. So as we get started, let's look at the formula for a quadratic. It's ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is a second degree polynomial, great math words, which means that it has two potential solutions, which means that it has two x-intercepts, because a solution and x-intercept, those words are used interchangeably. So if I had a parabola or a quadratic, then it would have two solutions, right? Where everywhere it crosses the x-axis. So in your grapher, the steps would be you're going to put your equation into the y equals, and you're going to do a zoom 6 because that's our standard viewing window. And then you're going to do second calculate, and then we're going to look for the zeros, and then it's going to be left, right, enter, and enter. Okay, so then we would do that to find this process to find each of these zeros. So when I wanted to find the second zero, or the second solution, or the second value of x, then I would do this three-step process again. So now let's just jump in with some of our examples. So for the first example, I want to solve graphically. Remember, that means I have to sketch and label. So as I solve the equation, we're going to be given x squared minus x minus, that's a 6, equals 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this in my calculator, x squared minus x minus 6. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy grapher, clear what's there, and I'm going to enter x squared minus x minus 6, and I'm going to do a zoom 6. And there's my handy dandy graph, okay? And I'll sketch that. Can you still see? You can. So I'm going to sketch it right here. So I always sketch as I go. So here's my graph, okay? So now I need to find those two values of x. So I'm going to do second calculate 0, number 2. I always start on the left, and then I'm going to go to the left of the point and hit enter. Cross the axis, go to the right of the point, enter, enter, and it tells me that that first one is a negative 2, so I'm going to write a negative 2. Then I do it again, second calculate 0. I'm going to cruise over. So now the left-hand side, this is my x-intercept, so I'm going to the left of it, hit enter, and then I'm going to cross, enter, enter, and then that tells me that this is 3. So those are my two x-intercepts. Those are to solve, so x is going to equal a negative 2 and 3. So that was pretty easy. Remember, this is your work, and so you have to sketch and label your graph. Notice that I only put the relevant points on my graph. So the next example that we're going to do, example number 2, says solve graphically. Yay, we like using our graphers. Okay, so this time I have a negative x squared plus 6x minus 4 is equal to a negative 10. So because we're solving a quadratic, I can put in two different equations and find the point of intersection between the two equations, or I can approach it like I did the last one where I'm solving for x. So that means I'm going to take this 10 to the other side, so I get a negative x squared plus 6x minus 4 plus 10 is equal to 0, because when it moves to the opposite side, the sign changes. And now I'm going to do a negative x squared plus 6x plus 6 is equal to 0. And this is going to be the equation that I put in my calculator. So now if I go to my y equals, I'm going to enter a negative x squared, and then plus 6x plus 6, zoom 6, and I'm going to sketch my graph as my calculator is drawing it for me, And so now I know that this goes this way. The negative in front of the equation tells me that the parabola is turned upside down. I'm going to do second calculate 2 for 0. I always start on the left because I always do my problems the same way because I tend to make less mistakes. And this one is a negative 0.873. And then I'm going to go find the other one. So second calculate 0. Now I have to go across the top, keep going. There it comes. There's the left. Cross the x-axis, enter, enter. And that one tells me that the next one is 6.873. So there's my work. And then I'm going to report my answers, negative 0.873 and a 6.873. Alrighty, I have one more example for us for today. So example number 3, nice short video, says solve graphically. And this one's kind of cool, and I picked it, and I'll show you why. The equation is y is equal to x squared plus 5. Okay, so I'm going to put this equation in my calculator, clear, and I'm going to enter x squared plus 5, and I'm going to do a zoom 6. And I'm going to sketch my graph, alrighty, and I'm going to sketch that it's up here. Well, this is an interesting conundrum. Notice that my parabola is not crossing the x-axis. So that means it means a couple of things. So it means that there are no solutions, and I would qualify that by saying there are no real solutions. Because it doesn't cross the x-axis, that means that there are no solutions. And so this would be my answer. I would accept either. All right, my dears, that is it for today. I will see you soon.